Tonight, our series Case Files returns to your screens with The Doctor's Killers, an episode in which we look at the murder of Dr. James Ngang'a, son of the former Gatundu North Member of Parliament Patrick Moirore. And in the news, families of 5 students of Nambale High School are mourning the death of their loved ones following a road accident along the Nakuru-Kabarnet Road. In politics, as the news of the cabinet nominees sank in, the names of the incoming cabinet secretaries drew mixed reactions from the public and professionals alike. And with 2 slots still to be filled, others are harboring hope. Details of these and more coming up, but first, the day's highlights. Carnage in our roads, 5 students die in grisly accident.
Ashara is on the other line. Ashara is my last born son. He's on the other line. And he tells me, Dad, come to MP Shah Hospital. Ngang'a has been shot.
The state versus Dixon Munene and Alex Chepkonga as Case Files returns.
Telling the 2 principals, but to reconsider the composition of the cabinet again for the proposed nominee, to include all the regions.
He said he's not going to even to chagua the wanasiasa, and then he put the wanasiasa, which is Balala and Gilu.
Cabinet nominations elicit mixed reactions from leaders and wananchi.
I also don't think it is a crime to tell you that I'm a proud owner of all the prices you see in this town. Mr. Price, Mark Price, Enterprise, Car Price.
And President Uhuru Kenyatta hosts winners of the 2013 Drama Festivals. Thank you very much and welcome to the program American Joker. Now, 5 students from Nambale High School were killed earlier today when their bus collided with a truck at Kimose along the Nakuru-Kabarnet Road. The students were on a geography trip to Lake Bogoria when the accident occurred. 18 survivors of the accident are in critical condition in hospital, while 12 were treated and discharged. Zipporah Karani reports.
The Form 4 geography students from Nambale Boys High School were on a trip to Lake Bogoria in Baringo, but they never got to their destination. Instead, the journey ending here at Kimose along Nakuru Kabarnet Road.
Mimi nilikuwa kwa shamba, nilikuwa nalima, ndio nikasikia sauti, nikaacha kila kitu na nikakimbia nikaja mpaka hapa.
According to eyewitnesses, the school bus had tried to overtake the truck but failed after it hit the truck from behind, and the driver lost control of the bus, swerving and rolling, leaving 4 students dead on the spot.
Karibu hata iko ameingia side ya msitu. So lori akakosa lose control. Karibu hata ikongana tena hivi, basi lori angeenda hivi. Ika lose control, ikaenda kuangukia huko, alafu basi na ikaenda ikakuja kapitia kwa miti juu. Yeah.
According to local residents, the area is a black spot. Hundreds have lost their lives here over the years, but in spite of these, pleas for bumps to be erected have fallen on deaf ears.
Na sisi kama wakaji hapa, kuna siku tulifanya maandamano, tukaomba watuwekee pumps. Na tumefuatilia mpaka tumeambia hata mheshimiwa wetu Professor Ellen Sambili, na wametuahidi watatufanyia kwa muda.
Among the 29 survivors, 18 are in critical condition, while 12 were treated and discharged from Mogotio District Hospital and Nakuru Rift Valley Provincial General Hospital.
Quite a number of injuries, up to 20 injuries, including the teachers, the driver, and the students.
Elsewhere in Eldama Ravine, residents blocked the main road leading to Eldama Ravine town in protest, demanding answers over increased road fatalities among pedestrians along the route that claimed the life of a 10-year-old boy who was ran over by a speeding vehicle this morning. According to witnesses, the car was carrying several liters of illicit brew.
Hata nimeshindwa saa hizi polisi tukiambia hiyo gari ilikuwa na beba ilikuwa mtungi ya chang'aa, wanasema ni ya molasses. Sisi tunachua harufu ya molasses na chang'aa.
We can put a speed limit signboard here limiting the speed to whatever speed we can see is good. We can use bumps, but generally we'll need the input of the experts, the engineers. So we'll be meeting here on Tuesday again.
Eldama Ravine DC Masharia Irungu called for vigilance and education on traffic rules and regulations. Zipora Karani reporting for KTN from the county of Nakuru.
We do apologize for the images that you may have seen in that story if they disturbed you, for not saying that earlier and warning you for that. But instead you have to maintain caution in our roads. Elsewhere, a 45-year-old man in Maragua County is being held at the Nakuru police station after allegedly killing his father in cold blood at their residence in Gathongororo village. According to neighbors Bernard Mburu Gitao, a father of 5 is said to have been killed by his son after a heated argument at their home over the sale of maize they had produced, which had been sold without his permission. His body was found locked up in the kitchen, bearing deep cuts on his forehead and bleeding severely from his mouth and nose. The 90-year-old victim had gone missing yesterday, only for his body to be discovered locked up in the kitchen, triggering a manhunt for his killers that led to the arrest of his son. The suspected murderer was arrested and remains in custody.
Kufungua mlango na mwenye kuangalia akakuta mzee iko chini hapo. Akaniambia ameua ndugu yake. Kumbe naye wakati amepenyeza namna hii ameteremka mbio. Naye akafuatana naye akaenda akamshikia hapo chini. Basi akapiga nduru akaniambia waite watu.
Kuna mtu ana habari yoyote ambayo inahusu kifo hiki, tafadhali mtoe habari kwa polisi. Sawa sawa? Na hiyo itatuwezesha kujua ni nani alimaliza huyu mzee.
Now, tonight, a brand new case file series begins in which we tell you what might have led to the death of Dr. James Ngang'a, the son of former Gatundu North Member of Parliament Patrick Muiruri. He went to one of the best universities in the United Kingdom and earned a PhD at the tender age of 29 years. But his life was cut short by 3 bullets. The murder that took place in Westlands area of Nairobi in January 2009 has left his father and mother with so much emotional turmoil. In tonight's episode, our senior investigative reporter Dennis Onsarigo brings you heart-rending behind-the-scenes look at the trial that lasted more than 2 years in our series, The Doctor's Killers. Watch the first episode of the new case files immediately after this bulletin. It's the State versus Dixon Munene and Alexander Chepkonga. Here now is a sneak preview of what's coming up.
Rashid is on the other line. Rashid is my last born son. He's on the other line. And he tells me, Dad, come to MP Shah Hospital. Ngang'a has been shot. And he disconnects the phone.
From here to Westlands or to MP Shah, we were praying, we were not talking.
So look out for that series immediately after this live broadcast. That's at exactly 9:40 or so. And now to politics, and while a section of Kenyans have welcomed the nominees for cabinet secretaries unveiled by President Uhuru Kenyatta and his deputy William Ruto, some have expressed the feeling that some groups were sidelined during the nomination process. And as Wilkis Tanyabo reports, the Gender and Equality Commission is now demanding that the representatives of the youth and the physically disabled to be considered for the remaining slots and positions as principal secretaries.
A day after President Uhuru Kenyatta named 12 more nominees for the positions of Cabinet Secretary, the reactions ranging from jubilation to disappointment, and with 2 slots still left, hope. The nomination of 6 women to ministries such as Defence is perceived as one of the highlights in the nomination process.
Realize that women have been given positions that both security, development, policy formulation and economic empowerment, and therefore commend the recognition of women in leadership of this nation.
This sentiment echoed by the National Gender and Equality Commission. With 6 female nominees, the Commission now turning its attention to the question of representation for the youth and the disabled. Members of the Commission want individuals from both groups to be considered either for the 2 remaining positions or as principal secretaries.
We are hopeful that as he completes the cabinet and moves to appoint the principal secretaries, that we shall see inclusion of all the persons with disabilities, inclusion of both the youth and the elderly.
For others, however, the sticking point would be the ethnic balance. A section of leaders have expressed the opinion that the nominees do not reflect the true face of Kenya. Leaders from Mandera County, however, celebrating the nomination of one Aden Mohammed as Cabinet Secretary, a move they say has highlighted a region that has long been sidelined.
This is, however, the first time since independence that the Kenya government has recognized the illustrious sons and daughters by bestowing on them the responsibility of serving our great country in the capacity of full Cabinet Secretary.
While a section of Kalenjin leaders defended the president and his deputy against claims that they had favored certain regions.
Already, the 16 named actually are fairly balanced in the country. A few are still missing, and there are more appointments to come. We know they will balance all those appointments. There are principal secretaries, high commissioners, ambassadors, attaches, and other categories.
All in all, the reactions of Kenyans on the nominees as varied as those of their leaders.
Telling the 2 principals but to reconsider the composition of the cabinet again for the proposed nominee, to include all the regions, all the ethnic community, if possible. I know we have 42, but at least it should reach a number where we can say it is balanced.
He said he's not going to even to chagua the wanasiasa, and then he put the wanasiasa, which is Balala and Gilu. And for the women, I think it was not fair.
All Kenyans should be represented properly.
Following assertions by the Parliamentary Vetting Committee that it shall not begin to vet the nominees until the full list of 18 is submitted, Kenyans once again turning their eyes to State House for the remaining 2 dockets. Wilkis Tanyabo, KTN Prime.
Well, and that debate leads us to a big question tonight, and we are asking you, are you satisfied with the cabinet position so far? The question again, are you satisfied with the cabinet composition so far? Do they include the youth? Do they include persons with disabilities? Well, send your yes or no response with a brief comment to the number 8040, and we will sample your views during this live newscast and give you the poll results at the end of this live newscast. Now, and still on matters cabinet, and tonight, the Deputy President William Ruto gave his first live television interview since taking office right here on KTN, and he tackled various issues ranging from the Jubilee promises to the composition of their new look cabinet and how they settled on the nominees. Here are some excerpts from that interview.
There are 2 choices that have been very controversial. I mean, a day before this announcement came, you assured the country that there would be only 2 politicians, yourself and President Uhuru Kenyatta. And then suddenly, at the end of this announcement, Najib Balala, Charity Ngilu. How did that happen?
First, let me tell you, Joe, and tell every Kenyan that Charity Ngilu and Najib Balala were with us on the campaign trail, as were many other of our friends. When the elections were over, it became necessary for us to do stock taking on who we had. And Najib Balala and Charity Ngilu went out of their way. They too, aside from standing with us all the way during the election process and making very difficult choices to work with us, they too have a track record. I think Charity Ngilu did very well when he was Minister for Water and Minister for Health. Najib Balala as well in the Ministries of Tourism. And therefore, they were always in our plan. But the one thing that we did with the President is to agree with them that going forward, they will not be in the cabinet as politicians. They will be in the cabinet as cabinet secretaries, discharging their responsibilities beyond party, community, region.
What about people who suggest that maybe that's the reason that the cabinet delayed, that you're saying, do we not? Did you know that this kind of choice would elicit the response that it has from a cross-section of Kenyans?
Well, we knew that Kenyans were a bit uncomfortable with, and it was all over. You know, we don't want people who did not succeed in the elections to be nominated. We do not want this or that. But, you know, this is a matter of choice, right? The President and I decided that these friends of ours have a track record, and they stood with us. And they have undertaken that they will work with the rest of Cabinet under the terms established by us, and therefore they deserved a chance. But let me say, Joe, also, you know, Kenyans are coming from a background of mistrust, of leaders quarreling, of people being dishonest, you know. That is why you have all these things. Whenever there is a small issue, oh, they have disagreed, or they are pulling and pushing, or maybe there is a quarrel. Let me tell you, Joe, between the President and myself, aside from being partners, we are friends. And we have, what I can say, a very good chemistry. Let me also tell you, and tell every Kenyan, the fact that we did this with the President was not because we wanted to be careful so that the President does not take a bigger share or William Ruto does not take a bigger share. That's not why we were there together. We were there together because two heads are better than one.
KTN Managing News Editor there, Joe Agero, interviewing Deputy President William Samoei Ruto. And if you missed it, you can catch the entire interview on our website. That's www.standardmedia.co.ke/KTN Live. And still talking about cabinet, a little known village in Ainabkoi constituency of Uasin Gishu County is celebrating the ascent to power of one of its sons, the Treasury Cabinet Secretary nominee Henry Rotich. Described by his family as an ardent reader of books, the macroeconomics expert is said to have always budgeted for his own pocket money, even when he was still a young schoolboy. Masi Kandia with that story from Kaptich village.
For us to be able in the shortest possible time.
The announcement of the eagerly awaited news, the President unveiling the first 4 nominated cabinet secretaries, among them the nominee for Treasury, Henry Rotich, but away from Nairobi in Kaptich village, Ainabkoi constituency. The happy feeling of proud parents.
Wakati mama anakuja nasema mimi nashasikia maneno namna hii. Sisi nakimbia kufungua television. Tunaona.
The story of their son, the third born in a family of 11, who excelled at every point in life from the schools he attended.
Class 8, alipita, alikuwa number 1.
The sky was never the limit academically for Henry Rotich, and now as a nominee for the Treasury docket, his parents say Henry is well cut out for the job, going by his budgetary skills honed as far back as his school days.
Wakati yuko kwa shule, hakuna hii ya kusema ati natumana barua nataka pesa ya pocket money. Anakaa tu na ile naruti. Wakati nataka ruti tena, anasema bado yuko nayo ile ingine. Sasa napea ingine ya nini? Anasaidia mimi sasa ile pesa mimi naweka mfuko. Nakuja fanya naye kazi ingine.
A family whose pride is shared by the community, known to love books, Henry Rotich, as described by his parents, is a quiet man, but one who always wanted to study. The studies have now propelled him to one of the top dockets in government. The Rotich family are one proud family. The nomination of their son, Henry Rotich, as a cabinet secretary does not get them by surprise. This cane of honor given to him then by the National Youth Service, just one point in his life that showed them that their son, Henry Rotich, was destined for greatness. Marcy Kandie, KTN, Kaptich Village, Aidnapkoi constituency, Uasin Gishu County.
Let's move on from matters politics to matters entertainment, and the government is planning to establish a Kenya School of Film and construct an ultra-modern theatre to nurture creative arts talent in the country. President Uhuru Kenyatta made the revelation today at State House, Mombasa, where winners of the recently concluded schools and colleges drama festivals entertained him. Uhuru also emphasized the need to promote the annual drama festival as a stepping stone to market the talents on show internationally. Our senior reporter, Ferdinand Omondi, with that story from Mombasa.
Round one, let us avoid 20% and let us go for 50 plus 1%.
President Uhuru Kenyatta was experiencing for the first time the annual tradition that every head of state has honored since Moi, hosting selected performers from the schools and colleges to a State House concert.
But I also don't think it is a crime to tell you that I'm a proud owner of all the prizes you see in this town. Mr. Price, Mark Price, Enterprise, Car Price, and for the sake of women representatives, I am soon building Mrs. Price. What do I say?
Among them was Kakamega High School, whose dance Bushi centered around natural resources and their impact with the oil discovery in Kenya as their setting. Bungoma High School's choral verse TTT addressed the growing insecurity on our roads caused by terrorism, while Kisii University's choral verse Utumishi admonished a preset negative mindset towards the police force.
BPFD, Black Polythene Flying Toilet.
This standout performance, however, was from Highway Secondary School, a narrative entitled Otonglo Time. The narrator, stage name Sylvester Ogwangfumbe, told the story of a man who left his native Nyamthoi village in search of Otonglo, or money, in Nairobi, only to end up in Kibera slums, or Lower Karen, as he called it, and the troubles thereon.
Insecurity. It was only Lower Karen, where one will wash his own clothes, hang them outside, go inside the house, sneak through the back door, steal the neighbor's clothes, only to realize that he has just stolen his own clothes.
The president, visibly impressed by what he saw, stressed the need to develop talent in the creative arts.
We will respect as well and further establish a Kenya Film School and construct an ultra-modern national theatre.
Uhuru expressed confidence that specialization in the creative arts like music, dance and film would prepare the students to careers in the field.
We are committed to investing in the arts and entertainment sectors, which will not only create jobs for our children in the future, but also promote tourism and our culture around the world.
Over 9,500 performers went on stage at the national festivals. For the first time, early childhood development institutions like nursery schools performed, as well as special needs institutions who are also represented in State House via Gashoro ECD and St. Anthony's School for the hearing impaired.
If you are supported, sir, the drama festival can be the 6th biggest tourist attractions after the Big Five.
For a long time, the pinnacle of the drama festivals has been to perform before the president. But now the president wants this to be moved forward and for the festivals to be used as a stepping stone to market the immense talent on show to the region and the world. Ferdinand Omondi, KTN, State House, Mombasa.
Thank you, Fadi, for that report. If Uhuru Kenyatta was listening, the drama festival should be next after the Big Five. Uhuru Kenyatta, over to you. Now, the Gender and Equality Commission is demanding that representatives of the youth and persons with disabilities be included or considered in the remaining 2 slots in the cabinet. And that's where we asked you our big question tonight. We had asked you, are you satisfied with the cabinet composition so far? Or keep sending your yes or no responses with a brief comment to the number 8040. And up next is business, and Joy Doreen Bira is standing by. And I hear that if I want to start up a business, I have to go to Westlands or Upper Hill.
Of course, you know, normally when you're looking for a location for your prime business, you'll have to put into consideration the cost, the location, and also, you know, basic issues like accessibility. So
is that a good thing?
It is a good thing. So in Nairobi or in Kenya, we're going to be telling you which are the most prime areas where you can locate your business. And well, this and more is coming up in our business bulletin. Do stay with us.
The National Construction Authority wishes to notify the general public all